2009 was a year of progress on the roof of the world. In February, the State Council approved a 15.5 billion renminbi project for the protection and construction of the ecological safety screen in Tibet. In March, the autonomous region of Tibet formally announced that its most important infrastructure for the future would be ecologically centered. In April, Zhang Yuqian, a writer, went to Ningshi in southeast Tibet. Ningshi is known to locals as the Throne of the Sun. Zhang Yuqian can't remember how many times she's been to Ningshi. 10 years ago, she began to travel across Tibet, a land which has fed her imagination and her writing. Now her first novel, Tibetan Marriage, is about to be published. Zhang Yuqian always has a camera.
真正迷上它应该是9年前。我每次抱着相机，其实不只是相机，其实我迷上东西有2个，一个是笔记本电脑，一个是相机。我每次抱着这2样东西，我会有种安全感。它能很真实的、很忠实的记录我所看到的、我所想到的东西。
Zhang Yuqian looks gentle on the outside, but she is strong and spirited. To her, Ningshi does not represent the essential beauty of the Tibetan landscape. Her studio is a treasure trove of videos taken during her journeys across many corners of the Tibetan plateau. 10 years of travels are documented. Northern Tibet has stolen her heart.
藏北是一片非常辽阔、非常应该算是没有开发的处女地。你也可以用荒原去形容它。在藏北，你走10公里跟走1公里好像区别不大，而且藏北你基本上你不知道你每一个弯拐过之后，前面迎接你的是什么东西，有什么样的惊喜。
This is northern Tibet through the eyes of Zhang Yuqian. Changtang National Natural Reserve, spanning almost 300,000 square kilometers, is considered the world's last pure land. A large part of this area is uninhabitable for humans, but it's a paradise for wildlife. After the natural reserve was established, illegal poaching was brought under control. Tibetan yak, Tibetan wild donkeys and Tibetan antelopes have multiplied with each passing year.
你能看到成片的野驴从你眼前跑过。如果你高兴，你甚至跟他们可以跑上一段时间。你有的时候，你伸出手去能摸到他们的屁股。
As Zhang's understanding of this vast and alluring land has deepened, she is no longer satisfied with recording its sights and sounds. Instead, she has turned her lenses to wildlife preservation. Her first target is the black-necked crane. At the brink of extinction, the species is under first-class state protection. It is the only alpine crane in the world. Wherever it appears, it means that the environment is an ecologically rich wetland. Zhang Yuqian is riveted by the beauty and elegance of this bird.
有的时候你会感觉那早上的时候有一抹光刚好打在黑颈鹤的身上，或者它的翅膀上的时候，真是非常美，那种轮廓漂亮极了。
For 10 years, Zhang Yuqian has been coming to Lunjub County near Lhasa almost every year to see the black-necked cranes. There's a large tract of wetland by the river where the birds reside during the winter. They feed on seeds in the wetland and the stalks in the harvested fields. In the past, local people often fed the birds fondly, but not anymore.
"因为你老跟它投食，它会跟那种野生的鸟儿养成惰性，甚至它不走了就，它会改变它的一些生活习性。应该让它们在这种自然环境下，自己去寻找这种生存的方式。"
In Lunjub County, these majestic and mysterious birds live side by side with humans. This is a photo Zhang Yuqian took in 2004. It's a family of black-necked cranes, a family of 4 who all share the same name, Ciring. This is a name local people gave to the father crane. He was found injured and was delivered to the house of a local family for treatment. In hope that he would recover quickly, they named him Ciring, meaning health. Soon Ciring's injuries healed and he rejoined the flock.
就放飞以后那一只，它后来就可能就像我们所说的安家了。刚好第2年来的时候变成是两只，或者是第3年变成3只，3只以后隔了几年以后会变成4只。
Perhaps out of gratitude, every year Ciring would return to the village where he was treated, bringing his family. And later, the villagers named all 4 birds Ciring.
明年到那个2月份、1月份黑颈鹤来的时候，仍然能看到它们。基本上每年他们来的时候，都在那个村庄外面的那片田地里面。
According to some statistics, the number of black-necked cranes in Lunjub has increased from 500 in 1992 to nearly 7,000 today. Every December to February, tourists arrive in Lunjub to watch the birds. Yingshi, the throne of the sun, has a different climate to the rest of Tibet. Humid, and at a lower altitude, it's a paradise of nature. Every April, peach blossoms bloom all over the mountains. Apart from writing and photography, Zhang Yuqian has another love, yoga. She finds her tranquility in the heart of nature practicing yoga. Meditating in Tibet brings her the most energizing moments in her life. In 2009, an automatic monitoring network covering 6 areas and cities was created to monitor the quality of the environment and air. Since then, air quality data has been published in the media. In September, Tashur Joyga, a villager in Tangya town, Major Kunga County, stopped burning dairy manure as fuel. On September the 16th, 2009, a biogas pool was being built in Jwar village, Tangya town, Major Kunga County, Tibet. Tashur Joyga is very happy. She handed in her application to the county for this project just a month ago. She never expected she could start so soon. For the Tibetans today, biogas pools are nothing new. The government provides all the construction materials and technological support for free. Many of the local people have free time, so gathering enough hands is not a problem. Helping each other is a natural part of life in these villages. Today, those who've come to help Tasha Joygar are her female friends. It's very common for the villagers to help each other for free, but the hostess has to treat everybody for lunch. She's been cooking every day on the stove for more than a decade, but because she burns dairy manure for fuel, every time she cooks, she has to put up with the heavy smoke. After her husband died, Tasha Joygar has been taking care of her mother-in-law and her 6 children. She has barely enough time and energy for housework. But when the gas becomes available, she'll be able to free her hands from the tiring and time-consuming housework. In Tibet, dairy manure is commonly used as fuel in local households. When it is replaced by biogas, the manure can instead be used as fertilizer. Soil can then become more productive to feed a land pressured with growing populations, both human and animal. The construction of biogas pools is part of a project to provide more comfortable homes in Tibet. Its ultimate goal is to help local people to enjoy clean and convenient fuel and a healthy and civilized modern lifestyle. Tang Yaojun, director of the Energy Office of Maijiu Kunga County, has come to visit the biogas pool construction site. As there were several cases of poorly constructed pools, he now has to inspect every construction site. This young man's name is Dradul. He used to be a construction worker, but today he is experiencing his first time on the site of a biogas pool as a technician. For him, this is really a test and an opportunity. If he passes the test, he can become a proper technician. In Tibet, the construction of biogas projects are usually handled by professional firms. Only those with technical training are allowed to work on the site. Dradul is the only Tibetan in the construction company. Dradul began to be recognized by his employer as a responsible and hard-working young man. He also had an advantage. As a Tibetan, it was easier for him to communicate with the local people, so he was given more responsibilities.
今年如果冬天我们有农牧厅和国家农业部有那个早期培训的，到时候派你去，好好学一下，拿个本本，然后明年自己可以干。当技工的话，工资要比现在要高嘛，是吧？
Whenever more complicated technical issues arise, Dradul takes things into his own hands, and the local people get a break. But biogas technology has not always been welcomed in Maijiu Kunga County. Even though the government promised to build biogas pools for every family for free, local people felt it was a waste of land to build it around their house. but they changed their minds when they saw the first pools produce clean and convenient energy. Several hours later, the gas pool at Taishe Joyga's house begins to take shape. However, Tang Yaojun doesn't seem to be satisfied with Jadul's work. The fact is, they must hurry to complete the project before winter arrives. As they are behind schedule in Maijiao Kunga County, Tang Yaojun feels anxious. However, he's nevertheless optimistic. Taishe Joyga has to wait for about 2 weeks before she can use the gas. But for a widow who has to take care of an entire family, the biogas pool will be very helpful. She's expecting some positive changes in her life. By the end of 2009, over 1 million biogas pools have been built in Tibet, and some 500,000 peasants and nomads have access to clean gas. Their homes are different now, and the lifestyle of the Tibetan people is becoming more modern. In 2009, a total of 45 natural reserves across a total of over 400,000 square meters were built in the area. It is the largest in China. In October 2009, an environmental campaign to remove pollution and protect the home of Tibet was launched. On December the 23rd, 2009, the Environmental Protection Office of the Tibet Autonomous Region was established, marking a milestone in the economic and social development of Tibet. In October, Taishe, an old man from Zhongba County, paid a visit to his hometown. Zhongba is a small county by the western border. Here, the sun rises very late. In fact, in October, people won't see the sun until 8:30. Taishe is in his 70s and he lives in Tangshe village by the edge of the county. Today, he plans to go to Jadun Temple. A few months ago, his wife died, and according to the Tibetan faith, this is the time for reincarnation. So Taishe goes to the temple to pray for her. On the way back, he'll visit their old home where they lived decades ago. This is the winter range of Zhongba County. Before the cold has arrived, the nomads have built fences around it. Zhongba County is located in the west end of the Shugatse area, Tibet, neighbouring Nepal, across the Himalayas. This is a county of animal husbandry, and the ranches are essential to the people's livelihoods. But it suffers from a dry climate, little rainfall and violent gales for 4 months a year. The desertification of the grassland is a crisis here. The temple Taishe visits was once the centre of the village, but as people were forced out by the sandstorms, it became the only human trace left in the desert. Jadun Temple looks just like any ordinary small country temple, but it is over 1 millennium old. It has survived the crisis of nature to watch the changing lives of the Jungba people. For Ta Shi, it is the pillar of his spiritual world. Whenever things aren't going well, he comes here to pray. The last time he was here, he was with his wife, but this time he is alone to pray for her soul to be uplifted to heaven. Jadun Temple stands on a mountain slope. Ta Shi used to live by its foot. The ruins are called Old Jungba, but today he can no longer recognize his hometown. The house which held decades of his memories has long gone. Only the old and weary walls remain as the last evidence of the past. Here, the desert has buried many sad stories. Jungba County used to be located at a place called Ga Choi. However, as the local grassland began to turn into a desert, in 1964 the county moved to Jiadong, which is known as Old Jungba. Ta Shi will always remember Old Jungba. This photo was taken in the late 1970s when Ta Shi was the head of a farming unit. Under his leadership, the nomads had a good harvest. As a result, he was invited to Beijing to participate in a conference as a model worker from Tibet. What he didn't expect was the dramatic increase of cattle and sheep, which overgrazed the grassland. Within just a few years, Old Jungba became a desert. By 1986, every inch of grassland around the county was desert. People had no choice but to move, to relocate once more, abandoning Old Jungba to the sand. But to his surprise, Ta Shi has found new life in Old Jungba. Since 2005, Jungba County has invested over 90 million renminbi to rebuild grassland through artificial pasture, irrigation and insecticidal approaches. It will not be used for grazing. The ranches once destroyed from overgrazing are now recovering. This is the autumn ranch of Jungba County. In October, the nomads have to move to the winter ranches. Since 2006, a household-based contract system was adopted here in Jungba. Ta Shi's family have been allocated over 270 hectares of grassland. Now, they have a better strategy to protect their ranches. They try to control the number of livestock. The old belief, the more livestock the better, had been proven wrong. The third site of Jungba County is prosperous. In this small city, now over 20 years old, schools, hotels and houses have mushroomed with the infrastructural support from enterprises in China's developed areas. In Jungba, herding is for men and women in the prime of their health. The elderly and children usually live in houses in the county. Right now, Ta Shi's sons and daughters are herding in the autumn ranch. After his wife died, he has been living with his 5 grandchildren. Years ago, when they had to move out of old Zhongba, he was devastated. But now he's come to appreciate the environment of his new home. It's very convenient for him to see a doctor and for his grandchildren to go to school. On the morning of October the 7th, 2009, the first snow of the winter fell in Zhongba County. It's considered a blessing to have snowfall before the official onset of winter, as it dampens the grassland. There had been little rainfall throughout the year, so hopefully this snow will bring good tidings to the local people.